Brussels, Belgium. A colorful, energetic city adorned with walls of pop culture paintings, nerdy shops full of collectibles, and the most delicious waffles on earth.
Oh my God. Okay, I totally understand why you guys eat waffles all day.
Belgium loves video games, which is why they recently became one of the first countries to ban loot boxes.
Loot boxes, which allow in-game purchases with real currency for surprise winnings.
The nasty, predatory practice of selling gamers virtual items through randomized gambling.
We don't call them loot boxes. What we look at as surprise mechanics.
On this episode of Fast Travel, we'll be hitting the shops and streets of Brussels to find out what makes this city so cool for geeks and how a country celebrates life after loot boxes.
Very good beer.
This is Fast Travel, the travel show for gamers, geeks, and people who just love waffles. Welcome to Brussels.
Stick around after the show to learn how you can have a chance to win a trip to Brussels and experience all of this for yourself, thanks to our partners at White Castle.
So what happens when an entire country decides to ban video game loot boxes? Well, it turns out it makes everything better. Look at how happy they are.
Good morning, beautiful. I know it's gonna be a good morning, beautiful. When you're waking up with beautiful.
One of the best ways to avoid loot boxes entirely, aside from coming together as a country and outright banning them, is to play retro video games. Well, Brussels' incredible local retro game store, Old Star Games, is a celebration of an era where loot boxes weren't even a thing.
So you have like a significant collection of Nintendo DS games. Nintendo DS is a system now that is old enough to be retro, I think. It's over a decade old. You also have a gigantic collection of Game Boy games, a lot of them still in the boxes. And then you have like a whole collection of actual vintage handhelds.
Yeah.
Like the original Game Boy that like turned yellow over time.
Yeah, cheap plastic, that depends on the factory.
And your store is awesome.
Thank you.
So Tiffin, let's talk about some of the incredible ancient treasures you have in the store. I want to start with this right here, the Legend of Zelda multi-screen Game & Watch. It's super rare to see one of these just in perfect condition in the wild. This is my white whale. So it's got this art on the cover that you don't really see anywhere else. How did somebody just brought this in and traded it in?
Yeah, of course, we just bought it. This one we bought it yesterday, I think.
Yesterday?
Yeah, this one is coming from yesterday.
Wow, and so you also have a box for it?
Yeah.
Oh man, look at that.
Yeah.
Who is?
The name of the owner, the guy that sold it to us.
He wrote his name on it?
Yeah.
Somebody should kick that kid's ass.
Oh, that's the part of the story of the game.
That's true. You also have a Super Mario Brothers Game & Watch. So again, this is like before Nintendo was making Game Boys and Nintendo DS's and Nintendo Switches, their entire legacy of handhelds. They were doing Game & Watch, these basically single issue games that were like hyper-focused on one specific game mechanic, like in Mario's case, just running and platforming.
It was made for businessmen. It's traveled a lot in Japan.
It's the only way to get ahead in the corporate world. Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening is my favorite game of all time.
I think I have one, yeah. The DX version, the American DX.
Yep, American DX version. This is when they added colors and the extra secret dungeon.
And the first version.
Wow. Super Metroid.
Yeah, it was like released in the UK, I think. Yeah, you have the cartridge and you have the guide.
Oh, so it came with the guidebook too.
Yeah, that's why it's so big.
Wow. The original Game Boy, do you have a box for that? Yeah, there it is. Look at that art. This is like everyone is trying to do this style now. So I'd love to buy all of this stuff, but I should respect my wallet a little bit and just buy one thing, and it's gotta be this, because this is like, I've been hunting this down for ages.
Yeah, that's a good choice.
It's going in my pocket, but that feels good.
So are loot boxes actually illegal in Belgium? Well, time to spend $39.99 in Animal Crossing and find out for myself. So why would a country decide to ban video game loot boxes? The loot box controversy blew up in November of 2017 when EA's Star Wars Battlefront 2 pissed off gamers and caused Belgium to start conducting a study to determine whether loot boxes are illegal under their Gaming Act. Fast forward to April of 2018 when the Netherlands announced the loot boxes are in violation of their Betting and Gambling Act. This led Belgium to look at games like FIFA 18 and Overwatch and consider them violators, while Battlefront 2 dodged the bullet by ditching loot boxes right before the game launched. Later that year, Square Enix announced it would be suspending services of games like Mobius Final Fantasy to comply with Belgian anti-loot box laws. Then in 2019, EA announced plans to stop selling FIFA points in Belgium. And in May, even Nintendo got busted for greedy loot box practices, forcing the company to suspend services for Animal Crossing Pocket Camp and Fire Emblem Heroes in Belgium. If any game developers don't comply with the Belgian legislation, they face a prison sentence of up to 5 years and a fine of 800,000 euros. Loot boxes, they suck, and Belgium isn't putting up with them. Way to go, Belgium. Veals and Geeks is an independently run record store nested comfortably in the heart of Brussels. It's a dope little spot to pilfer through classic action, horror, and sci-fi movie soundtracks, or just hang out and listen to the store owners spin old records while you shop and debate the merits of physical media in a world gone mostly digital.
So how long's the store been around?
12 years ago, I had a lot of records and my girlfriend wanted to get rid of them. So I said, okay, I will open a store and get rid of the records, but I just bought some more.
Her plan failed.
Totally. I just meet people, discover new stuff, and still purchase a lot.
I love flipping through soundtracks because they simultaneously remind me of good movies and good music. This one right here, The Karate Kid, obviously one of the greatest movies ever made. Like you listen to this music and you can take on the world. You can beat up bullies and grown men, beat the shit out of the Cobra Kai. You're the best around, and nothing's gonna ever keep you down. Wow. John Williams.
Good evening.
Stan, I just want to say I love you for having this record. This is a banger right here. There's a part in the movie where like they basically go to Sbarro's in New York City, which is a crime, and they just eat everything, including the signage. You know, you have Spotify, you have iTunes, you have every album ever on your phone. Why does a place like this still bring people in?
All the kids, they have access to everything. They would have Netflix and say, oh, I just discovered this on Netflix. You don't discover anything on Netflix. Netflix give you
Discovers
something,
it for you.
But there is something else outside.
Yeah. What? You have a secret wall full of records. Of course you do.
Before digital music, you had to read the liner notes. You know who produced the album, who plays on it, and then you find something else. You find it's the same producer who made this album. When you would go to a show, you would find a kid with the same t-shirt that you had. You know this band? I know this band. You want to have a beer? Yes, we have a beer. We discussed. You just write the names that you want to find, and one day you find a record. You don't know if it even exists because there is no internet, there is no reference.
Yeah.
So you just have to talk to people to know about music.
Stan, thank you so much for having us here at Veals and Geeks.
Thank you very much.
See you, man.
Every city has its own distinct take on street food. New York has pizza, Chicago has hot dogs, Brussels has waffles.
Okay, now I'm here at Maison d'Andois, a legendary waffle place that has been making waffles since 1829 here in Brussels. They apparently make the best waffles in the city. I'm about to find out if that's true or not, and I cannot wait. I just got chills. Are you kidding me? This is beautiful. I don't want to eat this. This is beautiful. This is beauty, and I'm wrecking it. Oh my God. I'm gonna pass out. The whipped cream is amazing. The strawberries are like sweet and tart and fresh. This is unbelievably good. I'm making a scene in this very fancy place. I'm gonna eat this quickly. Go, leave me alone. Hi. That looks amazing. Just bombarded their kitchen. What's the secret? I was gonna ask you how you like work here without eating the waffles all day, but it seems like that's not an issue. Oh my God. That's perfect. That's really good. Okay, I totally understand why you guys eat waffles all day. Thank you so much for having us. Get back to doing the amazing work you're doing. Thanks, guys.
If you draw fan art for the things you love, you could do it in a sketchbook, or you could grab some spray cans, run outside, and throw that art up on a wall for others to see, which is usually considered a crime. But before you call the cops, spray painting a wall at the Brussels Graffiti Tour is actually totally legal and encouraged.
So tell me about this place.
This place, it's like the training place for graffiti in Brussels. Here it's kind of legal. No cops, no problem.
So graffiti artists will come in every day and they'll paint over stuff that was here the day before.
Of course.
And the next day come back and do it again. And nobody fights over it, it's just respect.
Sometimes. When it's legal, for me, it's not really a graffiti. It's like the mural or a fresque in French. It's a different way. The wall change every time, and that not every time the same, and that's pretty cool.
This is the Forbidden Zone, a massive multi-tiered comic and collectible store brimming with modern and vintage comics, toys, statues, and art that has been thriving in Brussels for over 20 years now.
Oh my God. That's the Millennium Falcon Toys R Us exclusive promo item from the late 90s when they did the special edition Star Wars. That was a promo display that they put in stores that most store owners threw away because it's gigantic and clunky, but this store rescued one, and it's now the centerpiece of their giant tower of nerdery. All right, let's go look around the rest of the store.
This place just keeps going. There's like magic cards and manga and art on the walls. There's like literally side rooms. This is an entire room full of statues. Like you could just spend hours and hours walking around finding all this weird little stuff. This stuff is so cool, and like this is just hiding here. I could be here for the rest of my life. So is this store your entire collection of stuff?
Oh no, it's only 20% of.
Where's the rest?
In the basement.
It keeps going.
It's in my house.
And your house?
And it's always I find something that I don't have.
So this is you've dedicated your entire life to this. This is your life.
I like it.
You like it? Yeah, I can tell.
I like it.
I can tell you like it. You're just gonna keep celebrating comics for the rest of your life then?
I think so, yeah.
I mean, why stop now, right?
I am too young to stop.
Brussels, Belgium is a fantastic place to spend a few days celebrating your inner geek and walking off the copious amount of waffles you'll likely eat there. The stores are friendly, welcoming, and packed with nerdy stuff to buy, the food is delicious, and most importantly, the people are happy. Life after Lootboxes is a beautiful one, and hopefully the rest of the world can learn from that.
Like what you saw and want to visit yourself? Well, you're in luck because White Castle is sending one lucky winner to Brussels. Make sure you click the link below for your chance to win, and don't forget to try their breakfast sliders featuring imported Belgian waffles. Yes, you heard that correctly. I'm Brian Altano, and thanks for watching Fast Travel.
Oh my God.